Can I start, sir?
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Myself, Nitish Chugh. I, on behalf of Emerging Businesses Chamber of Commerce Delhi chapter, welcome you all. Today, it's our 9th webinar on the topic various circulars, orders relating to Epidemic Disease Act and Disaster Management Act and having its impact on the employment laws. So we have our learned speaker with us, Saurabh Munjal ji. Very good morning, Saurabh ji. And
Good morning, sir.
we also have with us Aniket Srivastav ji, who is the founder of this Emerging Businesses Chamber of Commerce and is currently the secretary of the Delhi chapter. Good morning, Aniket ji. We welcome you. And we would like to Aniket ji to say a few words to all the participants.
I will like to welcome everybody and for being present. Hello?
Hanji, Aniket.
So, I will like to thank everybody for making time for attending this webinar, and I will like to thank Saurabh for preparing, sparing time and preparing something to educate us all. Right now, this COVID has come up with some interesting problems, and this is something which we professionals are supposed to solve. And here, the inputs we get from Saurabh will be helpful. Now, over to Saurabh. Saurabh, please take over.
Yeah, sure, sir. I hope I'll be able to provide some good information on this. Yeah, actually, if we see today, one of the most debatable issue today we see is the whether the employer should pay the salary to the employees or not, and particularly during this lockdown period. So all the things have started from this. Sir, can you open the PPT which I had prepared? Yeah, Nitesh ji.
Hello, Nitish.
I'm opening the PPT. Just give me 1 minute.
Okay, please. So in fact, everything has started from where the government has requested initially to the employers to pay the salary by issuing an advisory note that all the employers should pay the salary to the employees during this lockdown period. So after that, they have also come with a notification with an order where they have given instructions to the employer as well as to the to all the employers to pay the salary. So now after that the questions have started cropping up before us as a lawyer, whether they are required to pay the salary or not, because there are legislation which are specially enacted like Industrial Disputes Act, which govern the terms and condition of an employment. But having said so, first of all, we have to initially see whether employees, so employees can, if you see, we all know that because all are professionals here, the employees can be categorized into two categories. One is white collar and another is blue collar. So white collar, we can say the people who are above supervisory and of managerial level. And another is the employees who fall under the category of workmen, and as it has been defined in section 2S of the Industrial Disputes Act. So now the two situations comes up. Besides have the support, they have also outsourced their manpower. Some are on the contractual also, some they hire temporary also, industry also hire casual also. So this notifications and all that have made applicable to all the categories of employees, right? So the situation which actually now emerged after the lockdown because of this notifications. So I'll just run through the notification first of all. Sir, can you just pull out, I think, page number 6 or 7? I'll tell you. Yeah. So this was the first advisory which government has come with. So now they have just simply advised. I'll read the second para. In the backdrop of such challenging situation, all the employers of public-private establishment are advised to extend their coordination by not terminating their employees, particularly casual, contractual, from job or reduce their wages. If any worker takes leaves, he should be deemed to be on duty without any consequent reduction in wages for the period. So this was their advisory. So after that, in fact, to be very candid with you, the first query which I had received was on 16th of March, when even the lockdown was not declared by the central government, but states have already started. So this was the first query which we have received as lawyer. Can they lay off the employees and all? Because in layoff, there is a provision in Industrial Disputes Act of called the layoff. Layoff is invoked when there are natural calamities there, epidemic is there. So at that point of time, our advice was very clear: you can lay off, because there was no such notification of the government and nothing was there. Then sir, please come to next page. Yeah, just third paragraph. You have to scroll it down. Thanks. So now everything has started revolving around this issue. This is a para 3, sir. Just I'd like to read it out. All the employers, be it in the industry or in the shop and commercial establishment, shall make payment of wages of their workers at their workplaces on the due date without any reduction for the period establishment are under closure during lockdown. Now, this has changed all the scenarios. So from 16th, I told that we had given the first opinion on 16th. From there to this, the things have completely changed. Now, just scroll it up, sir. Just little bit. So I'll read it out. Why this has a relevancy and why this has changed the entire circumstances. Now this is whereas in the exercise of power conferred under section 210(2)L of the Disaster Management Act, the undersigned in his capacity as chairman of National Executive Committee. Now what is section 10(2)L? It gives the power to the government to the government under the Disaster Management Act to take any such decision which they deem it appropriate, and they deem it appropriate as per their own wisdom also. So giving direction to the employer under this act is absolutely correct if we see from the even legal perspective. Why, when I said so, there is a reason for it, because the Disaster Management Act section 71 overrides all the provision of this. So just come to scroll it down to the page number 2, sir. Before that, sir. I can just a minute, sir. I can
this one or the previous one?
No. Let me read it to this. This last one, sir. Last one.
This one.
This. Let me read it to the people. Yes, sir. So this is the power and function of National Executive Committee. This is section 10(1). And then section 10(2), without prejudice to generality of the provision contained subsection, the National Executive Committee may lay down guidelines for or give directions. These were very important, sir. Or give direction to the concerned ministries or department of the Government of India, the state government and the state authorities regarding the measures to be taken by them in response to any threatening disaster situation or disaster, sir. So now what they have done, they have issued the notification in section 10(2)L. So this is, they have issued the direction to the ministries and to the state governments, and then the state governments have come with their own orders and notification where they have instructed and given direction to the employers to pay the salary for the lockdown. I'll read the Epidemic Act also because it has a direct link with it. When I say it has a direct link, because what has government has done, state governments, like if we take an example of a Delhi, they have in Delhi, initially the Delhi government has invoked Epidemic Diseases Act. Epidemic Diseases Act also provide many powers. They empowers the government to take many such decisions like this. So I'll read it out to this. This is also very important. Power to take special measures and prescribe regulation as to the dangerous epidemic diseases when at any time the state government is satisfied that the state or any part thereof is visited by or threatened with an outbreak, any dangerous epidemic disease, the state government, if it thinks that this is important now, that the ordinary provision of the law for the time being in force are insufficient for the purpose, may take or require or empower any person, the word is, to take such measures by public notice, prescribe such temporary measures to be observed by the public or by any person or class. This is again important, by any person or class of person, it shall be necessary to prevent the outbreak of such disease or the spread thereof, and may determine in what manner and by whom. Please read it this. This is very important. May determine in what manner and by whom any expenses incurred, including compensation, if any, shall be defrayed. So if we see the interpretation of this in a literal sense, the state government can put the expenses on even a private individual or on a private person, because the word used here is person. Sir, now you can come to the second part, sir, second page.
This one?
Yeah, sir. Next page, sir, next page. Disaster management, I like to highlight more. So, sir, when we say, we should also see the intention of the enactment. Yeah, here it is. The intention to enacting this act was to provide for efficient management of disaster and for the matter connected therewith. The act has been enacted with the intention to give effective management in case of disaster, whether it is natural or man-made. Further, the act provides continuous and integrated process of planning, organizing, coordinating, implementing measures which are necessary or expedient for prevention of mitigation, sir. The word here is mitigation. The word mitigation is very relevant when we say mitigation, because the government can pass an orders like this to pay the salary, because to mitigate the situation. Now, section 10 of the act, which I have already read, so sir. Now, section 72 is very important when it says section 72 of the act gives the overriding effect to any act. So when we say the terms and condition of an employee is governed by the Industrial Disputes Act or any other act like payment of wages or maybe contract labor. So all this Disaster Management Act will have an overriding effect on all other laws. When I say that layoff is a situation where, because there is a section 2KKK which provides the definition of layoff. In layoff, an employee during the layoff period can pay 50% of the salary of the basic and DA, and this can be invoked during such situation like natural calamity or epidemic. But since this has an overriding provision, right now the employers cannot go for layoff, because Disaster Management Act provides so, and whatever the orders has been issued, they have been issued under Disaster Management Act, and it is a direction given to all the employers to pay the salary. Right, sir? So next, just next page. This is sir. So I'll read it, the first one only, that is sufficient, I think. The National Executive Committee or the State Executive Committee have been vested with wide powers to take all possible measures in their wisdom. Now the word uses wisdom, looking at the requirement and pass any order for prevention of outbreak, mitigation of its severity and consequences. So now the government has invoked Disaster Management Act, and when they have invoked Disaster Management Act, they have asked the employers to pay the salary. Now many questions have come to us regarding whether the employer should pay the salary. There are situations which is arising now, even our clients are also coming to us and they're saying we are absolutely fine if we have to go to even jail also, because they're not in a position to pay the salary during this lockdown period. So far as the March has gone, they have paid the salary for the March, but when it comes to this April, which is going on, people are not in a position to pay the salary to their employees. So what the legal position? I have told you that Disaster Management Act provides empower the governments. They had wide powers and they have invoked it and asked the employees to pay the salary. Now, coming back to our core issue, what now the employer should do at this stage for the month of April? This is, I am only on it key that employers don't have the money to pay the salary. I'm only on that aspect. So far as now, what our suggestion is, initially when I have started with that there are two categories of employees. There is white collar and blue collar. When we talk of a white collar, so those are the category which are supervisory or managerial. So these employees, when we talk of these employees, although the Disaster Management Act notification says use the word wages, when we connect it with the Shop and Establishment Act, even the senior employee falls within the ambit of that particular orders, that they are also entitled to the salary. But now coming back to the issue, the only option available with the employee and with the employer, because the situation has come out with this is an unprecedented situation, and to come out of the situation, I have seen the employees have themselves come forth. They have volunteered that the salary may be reduced to some extent. Maybe I have seen that a person of CEO level has come to the management and has said, you can reduce it to 50%. So where there is any consent, if employer and employees sit across and discuss the issue, I am pretty sure that employee would be ready to volunteer some part of their salary. And in such situation, you can pay the sustenance to those employees, to particularly the white collars, and you can reduce your wage bill by doing this. So far as the employees of blue collar are concerned, it's very difficult because they are already on the minimum wage level. Minimum wages means, like in Haryana or in Noida, the salaries are still less than 10,000. So for sustenance, this amount of salary is to be paid. So the option comes out that you can discuss with the employees and take if they are ready to this. Definitely this consents can be challenged in future. There could be a possibility that employees may go to the court. They can say that all has been done under the coercive measures. They have been asked to, because if you ask me, employee is never in a position to bargain. If employee take a decision, they are never in a position to bargain. So now, but point is, if an employee has given consent, the consent is not oral, it has to be in writing. There are factories where trade union and employees and factory owners, they can sit across and can get into some settlement for the time being. This could be a temporary settlement, and even Industrial Disputes Act provides for temporary small time settlements also. So employee can go for that also. So one question that has also come before us, that these airline industry, which has been in fact the most affected areas, would be this airline or the hotel industry. So airline, what we have seen, I think everybody have seen that in newspaper. They have said so that we will going to forcefully ask them to go and leave. Even SpiceJet has done so, Go Air has done so. So only just 2 days back, I was reading an article in Business Standard. So that government has already, these regional labor commissioners central. Okay, I'll come to your question also, sir. So even this SpiceJet, so government has already initiated the action against them, this SpiceJet. So in this scenario, my advice would be that so far as the blue collar people are concerned, we should not interfere. We should not reduce their salary at this juncture. Maybe once the lockdown is over, let's say if it is, I hope, and everybody must be hoping that this will be lockdown will be over by 3rd of May. So if this by 3rd of May it's over, so whatever decision you want to take, you can take it. The only problem is with this time till lockdown is there. So sir, what was your question? That you are running a call center. Kuldeep ji has asked a question that I am running a call center for government department. If government denies payment for the set period, then how can we make the salary? So this is a very, I think, important and relevant question. So there is a concept of CLRA, if you under Contract Labor Regulation and Abolition Act. So here, if we talk about the people, if you are running a call center, so you must have taken a registration or license under the contract labor. The employee will fall under contract labor, and if the deployment is there, government is bound to, the principal employer is bound to abide by the direction already issued by the government to pay the salary for this period. Government cannot say no to this. They have to comply with the direction. And as principal employer, if contractor fails to pay the salary, these principal employer is under obligation to pay that salary, sir. Right, sir? Okay. Sir, you can come to the next page, sir.
There is some question from Sonia. कुलदीप जी आप चैट बॉक्स में एक बार देख लो, क्वेश्चंस भी आए हुए हैं कुछ.
Next, sir. Next page, sir. Is the effect of order is equal on small firm, MSME and companies? Yes, sir. They have, sir, I think we have already read so that as per the notification, all the establishment, whether it is fall under Industry or Shop and Establishment Act, so it is applicable to all the establishments now. So it is irrespective whether it is an MSME or it is a small firm or a small company. I'll tell you, sir, I'll give a little background. Sir, any industry or an office or an establishment either fall under Shop and Establishment Act or under Factories Act. If it is a manufacturing one, it is an employing more than 10 employees, it covered under Factories Act, otherwise under Shop Act. So by the notification dated 29th March, government has covered almost they have covered all the private establishment, because I told you that it can be categorized only into two, either shop or factory. So now question has come, if employer terminates the employee with the complete notice period, intimation to government authorities, is there any option left with the employee against the employer against such retrenchment? Intimation to government authorities, is there any option left with the employee against the employer against such retrenchment? Ma'am, just want to know when this termination has taken effect. During COVID-19 period, right? So if this has taken effect and during the COVID, such termination will be deemed to be illegal. Definitely there are many issues. I'll give you one example. I think this will give a more clarity on it. So recently there is a case has been come before the Honorable High Court where the hospital has been closed down during this lockdown period. So they have closed on 30th of March, 30th or 31st of March. So now employee have approached the court directly to the High Court, because in DMA, Disaster Management Act, the only power lies to entertain the cases is only with the High Court or Supreme Court. District Court cannot entertain the cases under Disaster Management Act. So they have invoked the Disaster Management Act and they have approached the High Court. The matter is sub judice before the court, but the very important aspect which is involved, can an employer who is already reeling under pressure of losses and has taken a decision to close it down, during the lockdown period, can be compelled to pay the salary? Here again, the circumstances and facts are entirely different. So if you ask my point of view, that's my point of view. It's they cannot employer cannot be compelled to close down. When we talk about you're running an organization, the wheels are running. So when wheels are running, you can generate some revenue from there. But when it is a case of closure cannot be stopped by an organization, even if it is a case where the disaster management is there. When we come to the other laws like Industrial Disputes Act, there is no bar so far as this is our concern. There is no bar when closure are there. The court cannot interfere to see whether there are losses are there or what was the reasons. The court cannot see the reasons. They cannot get into the reasons why the closure is there. So while applying the same principle, I am of the view that court cannot direct in a case of a closure to pay the salary. So coming back to your question, if the employer establishment is running and the terminates the employee salary, terminates the employee, even you can say by giving a notice period or whatever, the termination would tend amounts to illegal. It has to be that this decision has to be taken back, and it may be taken after 3rd of May or whatever, whenever the lockdown is over. But this will be treated as illegal. Now, there are cases, I'll give an example that I have seen a situation where there are employees who were contractual or there are contractor, means there are two separate divisions. One is we enter into a direct contract with the employees for a fixed term, maybe for a year or maybe for 2 years, or there is another part which we get the manpower through outsource agencies. So in both the situation, there could be that because since we were very close to the financial year and many organizations generally, not in every case, either the contracts are from January to December or from financial year, April to March. So I've seen a situation, in fact, two situations where a manpower contract was getting over by the flex of time on 31st of March. So now the question again comes, can the government compel us to pay the salary to the contract labor whose contract has been completed by the flex of time? The answer would be no, because their contract has been completed. So I equate this with an example. Can a person who is going to retire, a person going to retire on 31st of March, can he be asked to serve till lockdown is over? The answer would be no. So similar is the situation wherein the contract is getting expired because of the effects of time. The employer is not liable to pay the salary after the expiry of the contract. So I said two situation, manpower contract is over, fair enough. If even it is a contract, even with an individual employee for a particular period, if it is going to expire on 31st of March or maybe the 30th of April, the employer can review the situation and only on reviewing the situation can renew it. It's not compulsory he is required to renew it. Okay, so a question has again come. If employer terminated with the from Mr. Abhishek, if employee involved in any
एक काम करो
fraud,
सर, क्वेश्चंस आते रहेंगे. आई थिंक पहले स्लाइड पूरा कर लो, फिर लास्ट में जब क्वेश्चन को टैकल करेंगे.
चलो ठीक है, I
ज्यादा
think
क्वेश्चन हम
only
लेंगे. ठीक.
हाँ ठीक है ठीक है.
Okay.
So I am only on the conclusion part only. So coming back to when I said about the powers, the government derived from both the enactments, either Epidemic Diseases Act or Disaster Management Act. Epidemic Diseases Act was, I'll give a background, it was enacted in 1897 when there was some plague had been there, epidemic was there in Mumbai. So they have just in hastiness, they have the British government had came with this act. So they have given the wide powers. British government generally used to keep very wide powers with them. So now this act, now after that a disaster management 2005 has come. So it is again with it has been enacted to deal with the extraordinary situations. So it provides a measurement for restriction, mitigation, reduction, preparedness, and prompt action to deal with a situation or disaster like in affected area. Now, since both the enactments, either it is epidemic or disaster management, both are meant to deal with the extraordinary situation, and this DMA has further have an effect that it has an overriding effect over all other laws. So when we said, and I said that Industrial Disputes Act or any other enactment, so it has an overriding effect, and this is a reason that this government has invoked this. Now, the government of India has derived the power to declare lockdown in present situation by invoking the provision of disaster management from the Constitution of India, including Article 246, reading with entry 29. It is not something that government has in hasty manner has passed these orders. So this entry 29, this Article 246, in fact, we all know that there are certain powers which is vested with, which is given in concurrent list. The concurrent is meant for both union and state, and there is a state list and a union list. So this entry 29 is given in the concurrent list. So a concurrent list, and since Disaster Management Act itself is given the wide power to the central government, and central government, if there is a situation like this which we see presently today, I'll give you, like in Delhi there is a Disaster Management Act. Delhi Disaster Management is separate, and Disaster Management Act which is a central enactment. So state government can themselves come with the their own enactment. They can their own Disaster Management Act, like Delhi has, Gujarat has, Maharashtra has. But in a situation like this, the central government, or if a state government, there are having these two legislations, central government decision will prevail, and this is provided under the Disaster Management Act. Sir, you can come to the next slide, sir. So now this is in fact the core issue which we all people are revolving around. The government of India having issued an order 29th March under Disaster Management Act, while invoking Section 10 to LDMA, issued direction including all the employers with industry or in shop and environment to make payment to wages of their workers at the workplace on due date without any deduction for the period their establishment are under closure during lockdown would be legal and justified. This is my view that the decision of the government, this is completely correct and legal. Any violation of the same would have consequences for criminal prosecution also. So Section 51 of the Disaster Management is there, sir, which I have not reproduced here, but I'll give just a little on it. So the Section 51 is provides the penal provision, but when it provides a penal provision, there is a word used, reasonable cause. Reasonable cause, the word is there. So let's say if tomorrow any employer is booked under this violation of this act, so reasonable cause has to be shown before prosecuting an employer. And secondly, there is a mandatory provision under Disaster Management Act to give a 30 days time to other party to clarify their position on that. So 30 days time is sufficient for any person against whom the disaster management provisions are being invoked, particularly the criminal one. So now we can come to the question, sir.
So first question, Sonia. If it become impossible for employer to pay salary as there is no revenue, what option left with employer? Such consent can be called in future.
Challenge.
So you're saying that there are no revenues with the employer left, and what would be the consequences?
Such consent. Right. Huh.
So, sir, actually, to be very honestly and very candid, I think we all are, every household has this question with them. Yes. Because in every household, either an employer is staying or either an employee is staying. So I think everybody has the same question, ki whether during this period an employee would get the salary, or for an employer whether he is liable to pay the salary for this period. So this is a
Actually,
core question, sir. We are all
yes.
revolving around it.
And this is a hot question for this time.
This is in fact a debate, sir.
Yes.
I'll tell you, sir. Even there's one export unit. I forget the name. Nirish, I think they have already approached the Supreme Court on this. So the matter is likely to be listed within this week, where they have gone with this. They have 2,000 employees, and they are not in a position to pay the salary. So, sir, many things will evolve with the litigation, because this is the first time this provision of disaster management has been invoked. And a lot of litigation is definitely going to follow soon. It could be a situation, I'll tell you that there could be a possibility, sir, like one of my client was saying, I'm not in a position to pay. So I'll pay, let's say, for example, 50% to all the employees. Now, coming to that aspect, let's say he has 100 employees or 200 employees. So 5,000, now those employees have to approach to the labor court. So we all know that litigation time which generally taken in our country. So for 5,000, he has to contest the matter for 5 years. So these practical problems will also going to arise, and we will see a lot of litigation. Definitely, I'm also looking at that litigation. What will government going to do? I'm saying, sorry, court will going to do in this litigation. Either they will issue a notice. Most probably, they will issue a notice to the government. So a lot of situation will definitely come, sir.
That means we'll have the surge in the disputes relating to employer and employee.
Employer and employee. Yesterday, sir, I'll share with you that I had seen a WhatsApp in Ludhiana. So because they have given some relaxation on 20th. So yesterday there was a video that few employees have gone for attending their duties. So now they are asking double of the wages for this period. They're saying कि हम घर बैठे हैं, हमें तो salary मिल रहा है. So why we should come and do the work? So this is one of the problem which will come up, because most of the labor has already gone to their villages. So whatever the labor is available, they will demand more. So negotiation will going to be, because it's not that only employee would be in a position to negotiate, employer will also, because situation is like that.
Okay, so next question is from Kuldeep. Possibly Kuldeep जी आप question पूछ लीजिए directly सर. Hello.
हाँ, yes sir.
Kuldeep जी.
Hello.
हाँ जी.
हाँ sir.
My question was, I am running call center, government call center.
Yes sir.
Government denies for payment during that period. How can we pay? So,
Sir, I asked that when you are running a call center, you must be covered by the provisions of Contract Labor Regulation Abolition Act.
yeah, sure.
So if you're covered, sir, then the liability is initially on you as a contractor when you're rendering the services as of a call center. If you fails to make the payment, then principal employer, the government is bound to pay or cover that salary to the employees. They are bound to pay the salary, sir.
Okay.
They cannot escape from that.
Okay. If we are failure to pay salary to our employee, then what is the penalties?
If you fail to pay, then government has to intervene. Government in the sense, government to whom you are providing the call center services, and they have to pay the salary to them.
Government agency जिसने service center आपको call center का like दिया हुआ.
Like sir, you are right, sir.
Thank you.
So next question is a question notification by PF department to pay PF share of employees. Please elaborate.
That notification is there, sir, but problem with that notification, they have only kept it only for the employers who are having employees less than 100. So
Okay.
it is not meant for those who are having more than 100 employees. And secondly, the very, I don't know how they have done, but I should not say, but what they have done, they have kept it only for the employees who are getting less than 15,000. First is 100. Second is the employee should get less than 15,000 as a salary, and 90% out of 90% of the people should get less than 15,000. So if you ask me, I have clients, I have checked their records, but out of, I think, 50, only 1 or 2 are falling into that category. So, but in the last 2-3 days, the situation is there that we have seen in the newspaper also. Representation have gone to the PF department, and maybe, probably, the chances are definitely less than 50%, I say, but government maybe that they will extend it to more than 100 employees also.
So एक क्वेश्चन और है सर, company business revenue down, but employee work has not come down, and in fact has increased. If employer reduce the salary and employee don't agree, in that situation?
So far as the current situation is there, without consent, we cannot make the employee to give a consent on the reduction of salary. Consent has to be taken, because during the lockdown period, salary cannot be reduced, which is very clear.
Okay.
So but problem is that employee will never be in a position to bargain. So he or she has to agree to what the employer says, because today we are in a situation, either there is a job or there is no job.
No job. Yes, sir.
So people, I said so, sir, that today we will be in a position that employer will be in a position to bargain also. It's
Yes.
not that employee will be only.
Employee cannot bargain.
Employee, sir, it's never been the case.
In case hospital and police department, other than
only
no one can bargain.
Today only hospital, health workers can only bargain.
Health workers can only bargain. No one can.
Yeah.
Okay. So a question tha Sonia. If an employee get infected with COVID-19 during his course of employment during working hours, is his legal hire eligible for compensation from employer?
Yes. It is definitely they will get. There is an enactment called Employee Compensation Act. So it has been provided under this Employee Compensation Act for even some diseases. Employees suffered from some disease during the course of employment. Yeah. So if an employee gets disease during the course of employment, the employee would be entitled to the employee compensation benefit.
So government ये अभी notification आया या पहले से ही था?
No, it's been there, sir. Okay. Even after this COVID-19, the government IRDA had this notification that this will be covered under even medical, like we private people, like individuals who have taken the mediclaims. So even this is covered now.
Okay.
And I'll tell you a new concept now. A question has come. A new concept is now being coming, sir. Whether a person who is working at home, because we are encouraging now.
Yeah.
If something happens to a person while working at home, so this is a new concept which it is emerging, and now it is also in the discussion. So if something happens, whether that person will get the benefit under these enactments like Employee Compensation Act or other insurances. So this is a debate is going on, sir. Let's see what happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
So next question from Bridge Misra. If salaries are paid for the month of March, but for April month employer is unable to pay wages and want to pay April month salary in month to come, मतलब next आगे आने वाले month.
Sir, again, I cannot say everything straightly, but again, the consent has to be there.
Okay.
Things have to be managed, sir. Things have to be managed in some way or other way.
So basically ये employer के बीच के relation पे depend करता है कि कौन कितना
कैसा relation है और कैसा चलेगा. हाँ, एम्प्लॉय सर जिसको कहा जाता है मियाँ बीवी राजी तो क्या करेगा काजी.
बिल्कुल.
So what authorities will do अगर if employer and employee is absolutely fine with even working on reduction of salary or whatever.
सर जी, इसमें मेरा एक छोटा सा पॉइंट ये भी है कि इस चीजों में ना, जब अगर एम्प्लॉय राजी है, उसके अलावा ये भी है कि डिमांड सप्लाई का भी इक्वेशन आता है. जैसे अभी लेबर कम चले गए हैं, तो जितने आपको ये मैनुअल लेबर वाले काम है,
Yes, sir.
बिजली का तार बनाना है और तार डालना है, मैनुअल लेबर, उसमें शॉर्टेज है। तो आज की डेट में एम्प्लॉयर्स को एक्स्ट्रा इंसेंटिव देना पड़ रहा है जो लोग हैं घर पे, जो आपने कहा था पहले। एंड कुछ जो लोग हैं वहां पे ये भी डिपेंड करेगा एम्प्लॉयर के कहने में कि जो एम्प्लॉय है उसके लिए मार्केट में क्या सिचुएशन है।
बट
Sir,
ये
actually,
आफ्टर कोविड ये डिपेंड करेगा, जब लॉकडाउन खत्म होगा तब हमें पता चलेगा।
एक्चुअली सर प्रॉब्लम अभी ये भी होएगा, थिंग्स आर लाइक दैट कि एम्प्लॉयर के पास भी काम नहीं होगा सर इनिशियली। वी हैव टू एक्सेप्ट दिस कि हम मतलब एम्प्लॉयर के पास भी काम नहीं होने वाला। एम्प्लॉयर तो इनफैक्ट चाहता है कि उसके पास अभी वर्कर ना आए कुछ समय तक।
यस,
दे वांट इट टू हैपन।
Yeah, hello. This is actually happening for the all international recruitment and you can say the training material work. So I am dealing with somehow here and there in international market. So every place in Gulf, everything is closed. No one is coming in the office or their office also. So all type of recruitment here and there, passport, visa, stamping, everything is stopped. So what will happen for those all employees all over India? So there's so many consulting firms are there.
नहीं सर, you're right. All business have been affected, sir, badly affected.
So next question is, sir, can any employer reduce the PF contribution of his employee if he was getting it in excess of the statutory limit? However, the reduction will remain within the prescribed statutory limit. हेलो
सर, आवाज नहीं आ रही।
सर आवाज नहीं आ रही आपकी। हेलो,
just repeat it, sir. Issue seems. Yeah, I think there was some network issue. Can an employer reduce the PF contribution of his employee if he was getting it in excess of the statutory limit? However, the reduction will remain within the prescribed statutory limit. Sir, the answer at the first instance would be yes, but kintu parantu is always there, sir. But employer has to follow some requirement, like there is a provision of section 9A under Industrial Disputes Act. So there is first I'll give you a little background. There is a judgment of Supreme Court on this aspect, sir, which says, can your question on that, can any employer reduce the PF contribution of his employee if he was getting in excess of statutory limit? So yes, as per the Supreme Court judgment, this is a Grameen Marthwada Bank judgment is there, sir, which provides that employer cannot be compelled to contribute more than the statutory limit, which is at present is 15,000.
okay.
The judgment is quite old. When the limit was 6,500, then the judgment was passed. It said so that employer cannot be compelled to pay more than that. But when we say so, there is a compliance requirement which you are required to follow, that is section 9A. Section 9A says that prior to reducing the contribution, you should serve a 21 days notice.
Okay. Anyone question? No, sir. Nitish, sir.
The last question, it will also be, we can take it as the modification of contract, because excess of PF amount is nothing but the part of the CTC.
No, you're right, sir. I have already got some queries from the companies on that, because cost cutting, they will see every left right angle to reduce the cost. Right. So this is how you can reduce it by this manner.
Just to one clarification from you, in the case of, if I'm saying work from home and there is no work, so that PF calculation comes up when we are doing calculation of the salary. So if I say there is no work, so there is no attendance. You understand?
Yes.
So there the PF will be get reduced. If that doesn't depend on the employer, how flexible he is going to pay the money. If there is no work, still he wants to pay.
Sir, but at this juncture, when we have already had a long debate on Disaster Management Act, this order dated 29th of March. So there is no question of paying the salary. Salary could be, it could be a reduced salary with consent, but there is no question of not paying the salary.
Sorry, same I'm saying, like there's no work, so that depends, like if the employee is not working anything, so that then again depend on the employer how number of days he is going to take or adjust, or mutually agreed I am going to pay 15 days, 20 days, half of the salary, something like that.
Yes, sir. So what is your question, sir? You are saying that, let's say if some employee agrees to say that he would be on leave for 15 days and for 15 days he will get the salary.
So automatically that PF contribution will get reduced.
Will reduce, sir. Yeah, it will be reduced. Yes.
Yeah. So if that mutual understanding happens, so automatically the PF contribution will get reduced.
Yes, definitely, sir. Sir, there are companies, in fact the employees have consented that they will be on leave during this period, so they have already availed the leaves.
Yes. So many.
Now coming back to sir, because during this leave, if a person has taken a leave, he or she will get the salary for this period, no, sir?
Correct.
So even then, it is not a case of absenteeism. It is a case where an employee has taken a leave, and for leave a person get the salary, sir.
No, that's okay. If he has a leave balances over there, then it's 100% okay. So that leave balances will get adjusted.
Proportionately contribution will be reduced, sir.
Correct.
What you has asked is absolutely correct, sir.
Yes. Thank you.
Right, sir. So there one question has come, sir. One company named Nagrika, I forget that name, has filed a writ petition with the Supreme Court against the government order to pay salary in full. So this I was discussing. They challenge the government order and challenge the constitutional validity of Article 14. And what are your views on the same? Yes, this petition, in fact, I have read this petition also. They have left certain gaps. In fact, they have, first of all, the relief they have sought is not the entire salary. So they said ki we will be ready to pay 50% of the salary. So my first view would be that they should have gone to the court by, their plea should be that they should not be asked to pay the salary for this period. 50% should not be there. When I say so, because government will see from that perspective, if you are fine with paying, okay, 50%, why not 100% or 75%? So this will create a precedent for all. So they have gone with this plea to pay 50%, which is, in my view, is not correct. If you're challenging, you challenge the entire notification. When you say Article 14 and all that, when you invoke that. So they should have not asked for 50%.
Saurabh, going back to the old one, the judgment you referred, the bank case, what was the judgment?
So the judgment was the Grameen Marathwada Bank judgment.
Grameen Marathwada Bank.
Yeah. So the facts of the case were similar, that it was it was a bank, like a small village bank. So they have reduced the contribution to 6,500, because prior to 15,000 the limit was 6,500. So they have limited it to this, and this was challenged before the court. The court said ki no, employer cannot be compelled, but the other aspects like industrial disputes expense provide there is a change in terms of condition of service. Section 9A is there. You comply with the these directions and you can do it. So compliance requirement are there, but you can do that.
Compliance requirement है, क्या है वो?
वो सिर्फ 21 दिन का notice है. You have to serve 21 days notice to the employees and to the labor department.
Okay.
Section 9A is there. If you go through it, you will find it, sir.
Okay.
Any more questions, sir?
Will this period of COVID-19 be considered for calculating 5-year period for gratuity and everything?
Yes, sir. It will be calculated. Yes.
Even if the employer has consented for the leave, there is no problem.
Leaves even then, sir.
It will be period of working without salary.
Work, you can say leave without pay or that, sir. But this period will be counted.
leave without pay is a part of a continuous job also. No, there's nothing on that.
Yes, yes, yes. Perfect, sir.
Any other query, please?
No sir, और कोई query तो भी आया नहीं.
हाँ जी अनिकेत जी,
कोई क्वेरी नहीं सर.
कोई query नहीं. ठीक है
वंडरफुल.
फिर क्लोज. हाँ आप वोट ऑफ थैंक्स कीजिए फिर सर.
Sohail, hello. Thank you Saurabh for the wonderful presentation.
अनिकेत जी
And
क्वेरी आई है.
Sorry, एक query आ गई.
आया सर. Can employer forcefully say to employee that you are on leave? No. Answer will definitely be no, because you cannot ask someone to be on leave. It has to be a consensus. There has to be a consent on it. It can't be. Otherwise, it's a violation of that order 29th March.
So sir, please share 29th March order and your PPT.
Sir, it's in in PPT itself, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
I am attaching the PPT in this one.
Okay.
Everyone can download. हाँ जी अनिकेत जी.
thank you everybody. Thank you for your presence, and special thanks to Saurabh ji for this wonderful presentation which he have.
It's my pleasure, sir.
And next, now we need to close the session down. And before we close, Nitish ji will tell us all about the date of next webinar. Nitish ji,
हाँ जी एक मिनट.
time बताओ.
So the next webinar is tomorrow, and the topic for tomorrow is investment avenues in declining interest rate scenario and equity market outlook post COVID-19. The time of the webinar will be 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. The speaker is Mr. Rajesh Bansal. He is MD of Midas Finserv Private Limited. I'll share the flyer with everyone.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Thank you, Saurabh ji, and thank you all the participants.
Thank you. Thank you.
Most welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Saurav. Thank you all.
My pleasure, sir.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much.